We're all excited. So let's get to the first spot of today, the Okutama region. Okutama region is a beautiful region located in Okutama Mountains, about 2 hours west from Tokyo Metropolitan. It is in fact the westernmost town of Tokyo, and it sits deep in the mountains of the Chichibu Tamakai National Park. From Shinjuku Station, you can catch a train and find yourself surrounded by nature in about 1.5 hours. And Okutama is known as a nature's lover's paradise, complete with forests, lakes, and valleys. All year round, you can enjoy fun activities in Okutama, like beautiful hikes. But there's much more to the area, and today we will introduce you to some of the great visits of Okutama. I think we have a local guide today. David, good morning.
Good morning.
Where are you today?
Right now, I'm on one of the many trails around the region. This trail, as you can see, is quite a civilized one, with handrails and lighting even, and a little shelter that we have here. There are many hundreds of kilometers of hiking trails around this region. It's a 200 square kilometers or so. And you can get really way off the beaten track if you want to, and as long as you have all the good maps and have done all the safety requirements.
Great. You live in the area yourself?
I do.
And what do you do in the area?
What I do is I have a part-time job at a facility looking after several dozen mentally handicapped adults. This is mainly through it's kind of therapeutical through agricultural work, and mainly raising shiitake mushrooms. That's what we do there. I also am a local area guide, volunteer guide, and I do a lot of research on the local area, to history and culture of the area. Plus, I have got into the habit of restoring old abandoned wasabi patches and growing wasabi.
Wow, so you're an expert of the area in different aspects.
I wouldn't say. I don't use that word. No. Not at all.
Well, I'll introduce you as the expert today. I mentioned briefly before that it takes about 1.5 hours to get to Okutama by train. I think that's the best way to get to the area from Tokyo.
It probably is, if you don't have a car. Yes. Some of my friends have cycled out here. It's like 60 kilometers or something like that, and it's a very popular area for cycling as well.
Oh,
and we have a local bicycle hire business as well. But the train, as you said, is about 1.5 hours from central Tokyo, and you'll be on a main line and a local line to get to Okutama. And keeping in mind that if you have your map and you want to hike, you can, any of the like dozen or so stops between Ome and Okutama, each place has trailheads.
Good to know. So what can you tell us about the area? We saw a beautiful view earlier.
Right.
What can people, when they visit Okutama, what can they expect?
Well, it's all about mountains and rivers. So all of the hiking that we already mentioned, and river sports, the canoeing, the canyoning, all of these kind of things. But really, you'll always discover something. Once you get here, you'll see what I mean. There's always something just around the corner that means something extra.
I see. And how about, is there some wildlife in the area?
Well, in my my vegetable garden, we've had so far tanuki, the raccoon dog, raccoons, deer. Not that guy. That's a kamoshika. That's our local animal emblem.
What kind of animal is this?
That's it. That's called the kamoshika. It's a sero. It's a Japanese sero, and this animal is important to us because it was almost hunted to extinction. The meat apparently is very good, and but now it's protected, and it's made a wonderful comeback, and it's not so shy. I've seen this guy, or one of these guys, a couple of dozen times in the few years that I've been here.
It's a bit of a symbol of Okutama.
It is. Well, it's the animal emblem of Okutama. Yes.
I see. And how about sometimes when you go hiking here in Japan, you see signs of bears and snakes and.
Yes, we advise hikers to wear the bear bell. We have had incidents around the area with bears from time to time. That snake there is a mamushi. If you see that one, don't go near it. Don't get that close to it.
It seemed like this picture was taken pretty close.
I was within about 2 meters of this guy when I took that photo.
Yeah.
But he was calm, and it wasn't dangerous.
Ah, that's good. Well, you're still here, so.
Yeah. This was right on the edge of one of my wasabi patches, actually, that I took that photo. And there's another different snake, which is a very interesting one. This is called the yamakagashi, and you'll see it's actually eating a toad.
Yep.
Which is poisonous. It's a poisonous toad.
Oh.
And the snake is very interesting for the fact that the main item of this snake's diet is that poisonous toad, but it can absorb that and the poison and not be harmed.
I see. And how about the history and the culture of Okutama? Is there?
It has
sorry.
This place has a very fascinating and unique history, even for Japan, because of the timber in these mountains was so valuable. When the capital of Japan moved from Kyoto to Tokyo and grew very fast, and then suffered a series of very devastating fires, and so the demand for timber was massive, really, really, and unbelievably huge, and the government had to come all the way out to this region very quickly, within like 60 years or so of the like 1660, something like that, and started really harvesting seriously in this area. And so several industries grew up around that activity, and there's a history all around that, of course, but there's also a history, very interesting history, going back much further, 1,000 years at least, and many of the families in this area, by the way, have been in the area, I don't know, 500 years or better.
Oh wow, so they all stuck to the area.
Well, no, there's some of them went away, but some of them got left. But there are shrines and temples that go back a very long way that mark the influences of people through the history.
Yeah, I see. And if people visit Okutama, in your opinion, what do they need to bring?
First of all, curiosity. That's the best thing to bring. And questions. The better your question is, the more fun you're going to have. And don't be afraid to engage with the local people. This is a very cohesive community, and people look after each other, and they look after visitors as well.
Ah, good. So there's also, I think, maybe then quite some facilities for the international tourists.
You mean accommodation? That kind of
like,
thing?
Or maybe the restaurants and then tourist offices.
There are many restaurants and quite interesting places, and accommodation ranging all the way from backpackers overnight to quite nice hotels.
Yeah.
And Well, that's not an easy question to answer. I can just say yes, it's there. Um, but for example, where I live at Kauai, people get off the train and they say, "Oh, let's go to the 7-Eleven and get a sandwich." There's nothing. There's no shop.
Oh, that's the
Right.
first.
So, well, yeah. So it's not a heavily populated area. This is the thing. It's like, I think of 23 people per square kilometer, something
Hmm.
like that. And so the whole area is like by just below 5,000 now.
Yeah.
So and also it's not yet developed into a purely touristy place, like some places that are just purely tourist. Okutama is not like that. Visitors can still feel it as if they're visiting a real place.
Ah, that's the better experience, the more local experience, I see.
So I mentioned that I was growing wasabi. I'm going to get a plant here to look at to show you. I got this one from my place yesterday.
Oh, wow.
Can you see that?
Yep.
I
It
gotta
looks
find
very
out how to.
different than from what I know.
What do you know?
Well, I think me and probably the most of the people know wasabi as from in the one that you buy in the supermarket, the tube.
In the tube, yeah. That's mostly horseradish. So once
Ah,
you've had this one, you won't take
yep.
any notice of the other one anymore.
Ah.
It's a completely different experience. But just to explain it, the part that we eat
Hmm.
is the stem. And you can see just that little clear part there.
Yep.
And then roots
Yep.
go down into the flowing water to get the nutrient. Then we call these petioles, and then there are the leaves.
Yep.
And at this time of the year, we have the new growth on the plant. It's quite beautiful.
Yeah. It looks super green and fresh.
And so when I use this little tool to take off the roots, you can see
Yeah.
that's made of deer horn. It's the best
Oh, I was
tool
going to say it
for
looks like a knife, but it's
trimming
not.
off the roots. It's not a knife, no.
No.
No. This is a knife.
Yep, that's the knife. Yeah.
So when I've trimmed it off, this is what it'll look like.
Ah, yes,
There
I've
you
seen
go.
those in the not the grocery stores, there's the vegetable shops and markets.
Where
Yeah.
can you see it?
Yes.
So if I take off the top of that plant, then I'll see if I can show you this.
Yeah.
I can grind it, right? On this is ray skin. So I grind it.
Skin.
Ray skin, yes.
Oh.
Some are shark skin, some are ray skin. Of course, this is got to be anti-clockwise in the southern hemisphere. But there you go. That's how we grind the wasabi. And we grind it from the top because this is the newest, freshest part of the plant.
Yeah.
The plant grows up like that.
Mm-hmm.
So the freshest, newest part is at the top. And if there's going to be any problems, infections, or and so on, it's going to be at the bottom.
Ah,
all right,
I
that's your basic introduction to wasabi.
To wasabi. And what makes the quality of wasabi in Okutama differ from other places?
It's the water. Of course, we are up a little bit, so it's cooler, and the wasabi does like cool weather. Which means it's going to grow slowly and be more concentrated. But the main thing is the water, and these mountains are it's the geology, because these mountains have been jumbled and tumbled and eroded, and there's everything here. We have limestone sitting next to volcanic matter, right?
Yeah.
The mountains are very porous, and when it rains, the water goes into the mountain and stays in the mountains, maybe months, maybe years, if it's a big mountain. And when it comes out, it's full of minerals.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the minerals that give the wasabi the pungency and the flavor.
Ah. So
So you
it's
can't
oh, sorry.
you can't really grow good wasabi in the garden. It won't work very well. You can grow the plant, and you can't grow it in pure rainwater. That won't work either.
Ah, but it will have a different taste, different flavor.
Not as good.
And what's the best way to eat the wasabi in your opinion?
I like it with sashimi, raw fish.
Yeah.
As a condiment with raw fish, but it goes well with various kinds of meat as well.
Ah, okay.
But especially lean meat.
Lean meat, yeah.
Lean because when wasabi comes in, ground wasabi comes in contact with oil or fat, that kills the pungency right away.
Ah, right. I see. I think we have prepared a short movie showing the wasabi, the wasabi fields.
Okay, this was with Where the Sun.
Yes.
All right.
Here we go. So this is in the same area where, well, near where you are.
This is not very far from here.
Yeah.
This is quite near my home.
Oh yeah, Kauai Station.
Yes. There's the big attraction, the water.
Yeah. Ah, that's what makes the wasabi great.
That's right. And we come to the top of the Axis Forest Road, and we're in the forest now. We need a net around the wasabi to keep out deer.
Oh, they'll eat the wasabi?
Oh, they'll eat the leaves. They love the leaves. Anything green, they're going to eat it.
Yep. I was going to say, if they taste the wasabi, they might be in for a treat.
Yeah, I don't know, but I don't know whether it's the flavor that attracts them.
What is the, do we see here the kazusa?
It's called the kazusa. It is like a one-pronged plow.
Ah, this is how you harvest?
Yes, but no, this is plowing. We've got to plow into the rocks and get rid of the mud, so that the roots go down into flowing water.
I see.
Lever it back. This is explaining planting.
Yeah.
And he's learned how to do it. Look at that. There you go.
So the roots and the stem, they go all under the ground and the water.
Into the water, yes, into the rocks.
Which is protruding quite a bit.
How long does it take to grow the wasabi?
The plant that I showed you before would be about 18 months old.
To take that out.
1.5 years.
Yeah.
Generally speaking.
Wow.
Is there a sort of a wasabi season then, or is it all year round?
It's all year round because there's demand all year round.
That point.
But planting is usually in the spring. And then after that, once you've got a plant of a certain size, you can leave it for as long as you like, pretty much.
Ah, I see. Is it the longer you grow it, the better the taste?
Not necessarily. It needs to grow slowly right from the beginning.
Right.
So it's not something that, I don't think it's a plant that improves with age. You can, if it's going to be good, it's going to be good all the way through.
Yes.
Right? Because it's got the different parts of the stem.
Yep.
For just taking off those
Oh, you're cutting off the roots.
That's right.
So that's
There you go.
looking okay now.
Oh,
Yep.
Yeah, not too bad.
This
Nope.
part is the oldest part.
Mm-hmm.
This is the freshest and
yeah, that's what you explained just before.
Yes, yes, I did.
Down to about there.
I see. So.
Now that's healthy. The rest of it is quite healthy.
So that was just cutting the bottom part off because it was a little bit infected and a little bit old and worn out.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. I'm going to watch you where this don't have his fun here.
Yeah. And you grind the wasabi.
Right. The rule number one with wasabi is too much is better than not enough. Okay.
By looking at his face, I can almost
There you go. Yeah.
feel the wasabi already.
You got a bit of a punch in the nose there.
I cannot find any words to explain how good it was. I know. It's so fresh. I mean, I really wish you could taste this too. But if you know the taste, you will be so jealous. I can't start. Thank you.
There you go. Give him some more.
Wow, that looks amazing. I'd love to try it myself sometime. Yeah, thank you for explaining everything about the wasabi.
Okay.
I think we'll.
You're very welcome.
Let's continue to the next spot that we wanted to introduce in the area, the Nippara Limestone Caves. I think these, if I'm correct, they are the largest limestone caves in the Kanto region. And we also have prepared another movie introducing these caves. And
Right.
yeah, maybe you can tell us a bit more about what we can see in the caves.
I think the main thing to mention about this is limestone. People go to limestone caves for a visual experience, and this is certainly that as well.
Mhm.
But mainly, the best experience is a cultural experience here,
Oh,
because these caves were discovered and used by Buddhist monks many centuries ago. They would go into these caves for meditation or some kind of rite of passage. And so if you imagine yourself before there were these nice artificial lights and the smooth path and the handrails and so on, and you're in there, perhaps on your own, this place could work on your imagination.
yeah. So
And
how big are the caves?
It takes an hour or more to go through. So it's quite extensive. It's an extensive system.
Yeah.
You can see there is Hell Valley, which
Hell
is
Valley.
Hell Valley, and in Buddhist law, this is and the river, the Sanzu River, which is like the river Styx, is attached to Hell Valley. And so, if you know something of Buddhist law and or can access it, then this becomes a fascinating cultural experience. You can see that it's quite large, this area here.
Yeah.
It's a huge vaulted area with several features
climb.
around. A little climb.
Yeah. Is there a best season to visit the caves?
People like to go there in the summer because it's cool. It's just 11 degrees centigrade inside, which is, it gets quite cool after an hour, so you should have a jacket with you. But any time, the only time not to visit would be after there's been really exceptionally heavy rain, because it's probably going to be closed.
Yeah, of course. And you mentioned back in the days the Buddhists would go there to meditate. Is that still something that is done today?
Not as far as I know. They would be interfered with too much by the tourists, I think.
Yeah, probably right there.
Yeah, I think they have other places to meditate and other practices now. So maybe they found another cave somewhere, and that's where they are now.
Yeah. They're huge and they're beautiful. Makes like I think it makes for a good visit in the summer to escape the summer heat.
Definitely, yes. But any time is okay.
Yep. Yeah. Well, thank you, David, for sharing all of this with us.
You're very welcome.
Yeah, I can't wait to visit the area sometime. I think it's beautiful, located in the nature. We saw a sneak preview before from where you are seated right now.
Right.
Must make for a great visit.
Well, I can tell you, I've been here 8 years and I still feel like a visitor in many ways. There's always something new. I've been studying it and finding new things, and I'm not done yet.
That's the curiosity that you said we need to bring when we visit.
Yes, exactly.
Great. Well, thank you so much
Okay.
for introducing us to the area.
And when you do visit, you'll be welcome too.
Thank you. I will
All right.
someday.
Nice talking to you.
It was. Thank you.